hope you enjoyed my version of episode 80. I was about to say 30. Wow, way off. Hope you enjoyed my episode of episode 80. Oh, I did? Oh, okay. As I hope you find enjoyment in every single one of your passions. Every single day, every month. God, do I even know the English language? Hello dears, Natalie Locke here with episode 80 of Write the Story, where I give you a prompt and 10 words out of this book, and we write the story. The way I normally do this is I take 5 to 10 minutes to kind of outline quick glimpses and shots in my head to how to incorporate those 10 words. And then I take about 20 minutes, sometimes it's interrupted, sometimes it gets dragged out, to write the story. If this is your first time writing flash fiction, I highly recommend setting no time limit whatsoever on yourself. But first you need the prompt and the 10 words. The prompt is high school hierarchy. The words to include are pyramid, cowboy hat, amateurish, angle, ripple, cheese, jersey, blister, odyssey, reorder. With this outline, immediately with the prompt and the 10 words, I wanted to upend the pyramid of the social hierarchy in high school. I wanted something completely different, and I was trying to think of how to do this. I was thinking, hey, what if a parent becomes like 12 years old again and goes, hey, this is how it is going to school, and then they realize, no, it's completely different, that anime's cool now, not like what we were dealing with in high school. Eventually, I steered away from that idea, but some of my original premises stayed, such as the jocks and the cheerleaders aren't popular unless they make good grades or are into the arts. Because at this school, as it turns out, their focus is the arts and scholarly things versus sports and pep. Though, anybody who's about to knock me, I was a cheerleader, not in high school, but through to middle school. So I'm just saying, don't come at me. So that pyramid, the word pyramid stood out to me. I was thinking, I want the social pyramid flipped. But then later I realized it's not a complete upside down thing. It's more completely scrambled and became a circle or something. I don't even know. But it definitely is not a completely flipped pyramid. It's more of an equality across all situation. For cheese, I was like, oh, maybe there's a cheese spread in the cafeteria. For jersey, I was thinking there was a sea of jerseys in the cafeteria. Instead of everybody sitting at one table, they were actually sprinkled throughout, and that kind of clued the main character in of, like, don't apply your old school ideas to this new school. For reorder, I was thinking that someone reordered the books in the library to where the Dewey Decimal System didn't work at all. It was all in a rainbow in the library. But it turned out okay. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea and showed what the school valued. Then for like the big statement of like the value of the school, that's when I used the words ripple and angle. And then for blister, I used that to explain what happens when someone's stuck in their ways, maybe frozen in their old school ideas and aren't really accepting to this creativity. The main character is walking outside, heading to the cafeteria, and sees someone in a cowboy hat. They almost bump into somebody, and then another person they see singing, and it's kind of amateurish, but everyone applauds this person and gives them a standing ovation. So that is explained further as well. The last word, Odyssey, ends up being kind of a final thought for the whole first day of school. I really enjoyed this story. I enjoyed the main character and them coming out of their shell, and I hope that the school that I wrote about is not fictional. I hope it exists out there, and I hope it exists for multiple people. So let me go ahead and read to you my version of episode 80. Michelle, would you mind escorting our new student, Carly, to lunch and then maybe show her around the school on the way there? Miss Wright asked. Of course. Got all your stuff, Carly? Michelle said as she held the front office door open. Carly gave a curt nod with both hands holding her notebook in front of her chest. The girls rounded a corner and through another door. Here is the library, Michelle announced. There were multiple aisles and bookshelves along the walls, but the books were displayed like a rainbow. All the red books were on the left, flowing into violet on the right side of the room. Wow, that's some prank. Did the kids get in trouble? Carly asked. Michelle's brow furrowed. What, the books? No, she said. Some students got the idea, did it, and then helped Mr. Lincoln come up with a new Dewey Decimal System. Carly's eyes stayed wide as she soaked in the library one last time before following Michelle outside. Being outside was an extension of the new world Carly found herself in. She heard a cappella singing of the latest love ballad, but the singer definitely needed some practice to get to Adele status. When they were done, everyone at the picnic tables gave a standing ovation. Even Michelle shouted, "Woo!" next to Carly. Carly pursed her lips, unsure what to do. It wasn't bad, but it was rather amateurish. Why did everyone give a standing ovation? Carly asked under her breath. Michelle laughed and threw her arm around Carly's shoulders and led her to a building, which Carly assumed to be the cafeteria. Here is a little different than most schools you're used to. Here, we support anyone who tries. Creativity is a ripple. Some people just need an environment, others need a community. Either way, when we support one of us being creative, others may follow and try a new angle. You never know what you're good at until you try. What about people who may be stuck in their ways? Carly asked. Well, those people are like blisters. They'll get frozen if they continue that way, Michelle said, as a matter of fact. Carly smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. She hugged her notebook and kept her head down. She almost bumped into a girl with a cowboy hat, but luckily Michelle tugged her arm just in time. Carly mumbled thanks and shifted her notebook to free up her right hand to open the cafeteria door. When the girls entered the lunchroom, Carly got her third shock of the day. She saw familiar jerseys of the football team and the cheerleading uniforms, but instead of being blended at one table of blue and white, everyone was sprinkled among the tables with people not on the team. Wow, Carly finally gasped. Michelle looked around and nodded. Yep, here we focus on the arts and scholarly things, and everything else is just for fun. Well, we have fun with the other stuff too, but you know what I mean. Carly nodded and walked over to the lunch line to grab some food. Without realizing it, she set down her notebook while she reached for a slice of cheese for her sandwich. Michelle spotted it at the same time Carly remembered. Do you draw? Without waiting for Carly to answer, Michelle continued. I love to draw too. Can I see your stuff when we sit down? Carly remembered how Michelle clapped and cheered for the singer outside. Sure, if I can also see your notebook, Carly said. Deal, Michelle said, with her hand extended to seal the agreement. The first day of school felt as long as an odyssey, but with the entire school hierarchy pyramid that she'd known is now upside down and scrambled, it was an odyssey she wouldn't mind repeating. I really enjoyed writing this story. I'm just going to jump right into it. The thing that I think I should have worked on is developing Carly more. I did have her have a little bit of depth by holding the notebook, and it was this thing that she held close. And then she finally came out of her shell and was willing to share her drawings with Michelle. But that's really kind of all we knew about her. And Carly also came from a school before where the hierarchy was much different than this new school. But we really didn't get much stuff to her. I think something that would have conveyed another level to Carly is if I put in her thinking someone was a bully and her immediately apologizing, being very submissive, when the other person is like, no, it was my fault, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking where I was going. And I could have done that with the person she almost ran into. And that would have conveyed another level of Carly. Maybe she was bullied at her old school, and that's why she changed schools. Who knows? But that's something that I felt I needed to work on. The part that I'm proud of is actually the entire paragraph where we're talking about how creativity is needed, and some people need the environment to be creative, to foster creativity. Others needed a community. But as long as part of the environment and the community is that applause of you tried, you put yourself out there, and now you can get better, that fostering is what the main character is talking about. So I really like that. So the 3 lines that are my favorite, because they kind of coincide together, is creativity is like a ripple. Some people need just an environment, others need a community. Either way, when we support one of us being creative, others may follow and try a new angle. That part is what I love. I love that, and I feel like we even have that through AuthorTube, like even through sprints and stuff. We're being creative together. We talk things out and we try something new, and no one says you're bad unless you're putting others down. We got the community and we have the environment. Now we just got to write the words. I hope you enjoyed my version of episode 80, as you find enjoyment in any of your passions every single day, every week, every month, every year.